here's what was happening to me, in case anybody else experiences this. So when you're open, and Erica recently got to experience this. When you're open all the time, you can actually drain yourself very quickly. And then your body begins to deplete, and you are exhausted all the time. And so you'll go through these super highs and really lows because you're constantly open. Your body is a vessel. It is a channel. And every single one of us, whether we say we're a gatekeeper or way shower or whatever, every single person on this planet is a vessel of light, for light to anchor through. So it's very important to have astral boundaries. So one of the very first things that I would have you do is, in the morning when you get up, okay, you're going to open your crown, and I want you to visualize this laying in your bed. I want you to, this is how I see it, okay? You can see it anyway. You can see an open, close sign. You can see a hatch. I literally see like a drawbridge, opening, crown opening. And then I see my feet open and my root open, like a flower, right? Just this opening. And I see light, just beautiful light, just rushing through my body, and then expanding and clearing myself out. I'll say a little prayer. You can say whatever you want. I will send you guys in an email my prayer. And you have that, and then you're going to see your crown closing, and you're going to say the words, I command my crown to close, right? Or close crown, please. And you're just going to see it closing and being shut. And it will stay that way until you open it again.
Okay.
So in the beginning, when you start closing your crown chakra to be a human, right? It's not that you don't hear your own team. It's not that you don't hear your higher self. It's not that you're actually disconnected. You're not. What you're saying is, the light is off. I am not working right now. I am going to be a human. And I'm going to hold my energy in myself. Because have you ever seen the turbans where people put stuff on their head? That's actually containing their energy. That's keeping their energy contained. That's why they do it. It's like a protection mechanism, but it's not for protection. It's for holding their light, right? They're charging. And so when you are ready to go into meditation, or you have a client, or you just want to be open for whatever reason it is, right? Then you can say through your breath. So I'll do the oneness breath, and my oneness breath, I have a routine that it opens up my feet and my root, it opens up my crown, and then I anchor the lights through my heart, and then I expand out from my heart center. But any way you do it is fine, but you need to have that visualization of, I am now open, I am now closed. In the early days, I used to have, I had like a little sign, a neon sign that I saw. And then for a while I did velvet ropes where I just velveted it off. But what I wasn't noticing was, when I was using those two visuals, I wasn't actually closing my crown. It was like all the lights are on and the storefront's wide open, but there's a sign that says closed. It wasn't working too well. That's what was happening. Yeah, and so I had to physically see my crown close.
Okay.
And when you do that, please know that you are going to feel it, and you're going to feel disconnected. You will feel disconnected for a little bit, because it's going to be, this is weird, because you want to be, when you are healers, if you're naturally born to be a healer, you want to be open all the time. You want to hug people. You want to be like, let me take that from you. Let me just absorb it all and make you all better. That's what we all feel like we want to do all the time. So it becomes it's a different feeling, but you have to remember that this is very much self-nurturing, because you're going to wear yourself out thin. And remember that light, that consciousness that is constantly streaming through you when you're open, is coming through your column of light. Where does your nervous system run, right? You have that main line, then you have ones that are everywhere else, but that's going to give people adrenal fatigue very quickly who aren't actually in fight, flight, or freeze. This is why so many people on the planet right now have thyroid problems, because what happens is, right, that when you're constantly on in an expanded state, an open state, and you're not managing your energy well, and you're not having good astral boundaries, that means you don't have good physical boundaries probably either. So you're constantly taking all this energy in, and it's running through your body, It's going to wear out your adrenals, which is going to send a signal to your thyroid, which is your master computer of your brain. And that's going to go haywire. And then you're going to start having all these other complications. So that was the main reason why I went into adrenal fatigue very early, because I was connecting with galactics. I didn't know who the hell they were. All I knew was I could sit in my bed and it's like somebody put a quarter in. My husband could feel the bed vibrating because I had so much energy coursing around me and through me. And it would become so painful because it would feel like my crown was exploding. My body would feel like it was exploding. It was intense. So I had a crash course in boundaries real quick because it was really wearing my body out. Did I answer the question? I end up on these tangents and then I forget what the question was.
Yes, you did. I definitely, will sit and do that. Visualize. It is difficult, to close. For me, I was putting that neon sign or just a sign and I was still there. And I was wondering like, why am I still getting this? Like, I need just a little moment to, get that energy back and feel fine, or just, be in my own energy and own presence and not have to hear everything. Because once it opened, it was just a whirlfield of knowledge and information and galactic beings, and it was quite interesting.
And there's a time and a place for that. But if you're in your home, see, okay, I'm going to tell you this just because I want you to see that how astral boundaries and physical boundaries go so well together, because I was in that open state constantly around my husband, who is still living in a 3-4D consciousness, right? And so anything he came in and brought home would just ooze out of him. And so I was taking all of that in. Now, when I learned to close my astral boundaries, I actually felt that disconnection. I was no longer receiving all of his stuff, but I could see it still. I could see this weird, I could see it coming from him. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I learned through the astral boundaries to have physical boundaries. Like, he needs space. He needs to process this. This isn't for me to handle. But when I was wide open, I was immediately receiving it all. And then I was like, oh, you just get hit with this icky feeling when you were fine. And now for me, I have to process that because my solar plexus is defined, right? So now I have to sit and work through that, because once I've taken on an emotion, I got to play it out, right? It's not like a quick, where my husband, he's just like, he'll take it in and he's like, yeah, okay, whatever, it's gone. Right? So we all process energy differently. We have to see how we process it, and knowing how the minute I take on somebody's pissy mood or sadness, I was like, I don't want to do that, right? That's not, they need to process their emotions, that, because raw emotions is energy. I don't care who you are. Raw emotions gives you energy when you accept them in. It's like gas. You accept those raw emotions of yourself. It's like this, it's like they come out of wherever, the lower part, usually the lower 3 chakras, and they come into your heart and they fuel your heart. And the bigger and brighter your heart is, and the more charged your heart is, right? The more you're going to hear, the more you're going to see, the more you're going to feel. So this is why I'm always talking about loving your emotions, feeling your emotions, accepting your emotions, no matter how bad they are. If you can accept them like you're hugging yourself and taking them in, it's actually going to feed your heart and expand your heart and make your light even brighter. And so having that is it's such an important thing. So now I don't leave my office or my bed or wherever I happen to be with my chakra open. Before I walk out, I take that 30 seconds and I slowly see my crown closing. I see that light ceiling, and I can go about my day, and I'm never away from my inner guidance system, but I'm not receiving from benevolent beings. Now, that doesn't mean I won't feel them. They still come around. They just don't bother me. But I used to go into restaurants. I'd have a whole damn slew of people around me. I'm just like, oh man, no. I'm a human today. So again, going back to, you set the rules. You are the creator of how you want to experience this reality. So as new things come up, because you're never going to get it right out the gate, you're like, oh, let me add this in. Okay, master guide. Right. And those master guides or gatekeepers, they're kind of the ones, they're the bouncers. They keep the benevolent beings back. right? They keep the other people back and they say one at a time. Same with mediumship readings. I had to learn to communicate with my dad and have a relationship with, can you line them up? Whoever needs to be heard first, you get to decide. He's the keeper of those beings, but I only want one to step forward at a time. So they can all line up behind you, but I don't want to feel that pressure of all that energy waiting to speak to me, because then it frazzles me. So when I'm doing readings for somebody or I'm tuning in for somebody, one at a time, right? So as you're feeling it, as you're experiencing whatever you're feeling, whether it's in your astral space or in your physical space, it's no different. It's just that you're not seeing it so much as you would physically. So you're just like, no, act like you're surrounded by kids. What would you do? Okay, guys, let's line up over here, one at a time. Be in charge. You are the creator. Okay, you get to decide how you work with this. So every time you experience something, stop, take a breath. If it's not working for you, say, how would I like this to work? Okay, that's how I would like to work. And then command it. Say, all right, this is what you're going to do, just like you're teaching children. Let's line up over here, one at a time, step forward. And do it with the same conviction that you would as if you were teaching a class of children. Like, that's the best example, because I don't want you to be like rowdy adults, right? I want you to become but command from that divine masculine, that space of integrity and honor, right? Because that's what divine masculine is. It's integrity and honor. It's saying, this is what I want you to do, but I'm doing it from a very loving but stern energy. You see the difference? Right? And it's not weak. It's not, please do this. No, we command. No, we're going to line up now, right? And so we do it with a different energy. And so every time, you don't have to say, okay, I'm going to sit and talk to my guide and tell him, yes, you can do that too. Or in that moment, you can say, no, we're not going to do it that way. That it doesn't work for me. Let's do it this way. And you just pivot on that dime and twist it and say, okay, I don't like the way this feels. Let's change this game and change it around. You are the creator. You get to decide. And it may take you a couple of times before you really get serious and you feel that sternness and you really believe it. But you just have to be consistent. You can tell the dog to sit. He ain't going to sit the first time. He's going to look at you like you're crazy, right? But the more you keep doing it, with that tone and that energy, all of a sudden now it's automatic, right? The dog sees you open a door. He's like, oh, I'm going to sit. All right, it's time. They know, right? Same thing with when you're developing your mediumship or anything that you're doing, not just with boundaries or astrally, anything. It's same time, same structure, same routine. You have to build that consistency until it becomes automatic. And now you can be a little more flexible, because now it's a part of your nature, right? It's a cyclical thing. But until you have built that automatic, then you need to say that prayer every day. You need to command that change every day until it automatically sets that way. And even though spirit doesn't have linear time, they will honor our time, and it helps them to show up for us by knowing that every day at 10 a.m. she's going to be sitting here waiting for us to come through for her, right? So it's through this consistency that's created. Same thing with astral boundaries and closing your crown. You're going to have to remember to do it, and do it diligently. If you walk out of your room and your crown's wide open, walk back in your room, shut that door, run some light through it, close it up again. And just get into that habit. And then pretty soon it will automatically happen, right? And you're not so in that space, but everything takes time, patience, and consistency. And then, like driving a car, riding the bike, or making coffee, something you just do, you could do it half asleep.